Welcome to the NerdWallet Smart Money Podcast, where we usually answer your personal finance questions and help you feel a little smarter about what you do with your money. I'm Sean Piles.
And I'm Liz Weston. To send the nerds your money questions, call or text us on the Nerd Hotline at 901-730-6373. That's 901-730-NERD. Or email us at podcast@nerdwallet.com. Also, hit that subscribe button to get new episodes delivered to your devices every Monday. If you like what you hear, please leave us a review and tell a friend.
This week, we are continuing our series of episodes about financial dreams, where we talk with nerds who have accomplished their financial dreams and interview a few special guests about what they want to do with their money in 2022. And since we're NerdWallet, we will also discuss the steps you can take to accomplish your own financial dreams, whatever they are.
This time around, we're talking with DIY and home decor YouTuber Angel Grace about her experience starting her own business and her investing goals for 2022. Welcome to the podcast, Angel.
Hi.
It's great to have you on. Angel, I would love to start off by hearing a bit about your background and how you got into DIY projects and home decor.
I started doing DIY projects when my husband and I first married, and we bought our first home. And at that time, we didn't have like huge budgets, for a lot of the stuff we want done. So we ended up doing a lot of DIY. And in that, home decor became a part of it because I like to make my space a happy place. And I feel like when you surround yourself with things that bring you joy and excites you, it just literally changes the feel and the mood of your whole environment.
Right.
It so does. Did you have a background in design or art or anything like that?
Actually, no. I have a background in accounting and law, so I was a lawyer.
No kidding.
I imagine it was a nice creative outlet after working with numbers and rules all day long.
Yes, very much so.
Well, let's turn to your financial dreams for 2022. What do you want to do in the next year?
I really want to focus more on my long-term financial health as well as more passive income strategies. So,
what specifically are you thinking of looking into in those two areas?
I want to do some investing and put more into just money that grows on its own for the most part, and then also retirement purposes, try to get set up so that my future is more secure.
You have kids?
I do. I have a toddler.
Oh my goodness. And you have a business.
Yes.
You got a lot to do. So you don't have a lot of time to mess around with investing, that sounds like.
Well, I used to do some DIY investing years ago, but life did hit and things fell off. But I want to get back into it, but I don't want to be like actively having to manage my portfolio.
Have you looked at all into opening a Robo Advisor account, or do you have one of those already?
I do not know. Can you explain more?
Yeah, they might be a nice way to get started investing because you can open one of these accounts and there are a number of them around on the internet at this point. And basically, the way I do it with my Robo-Advisor account is I have a set amount that I deposit monthly and it manages my investments for me. I told it my risk level and how I want to manage my investments in general, and it basically does all of the heavy lifting for me. Because similar to you, I didn't want to get too bogged down in choosing specific companies to invest in. It sounded like a lot of work to me, and I didn't want to invest all of that time when I could have a computer do it for me, basically.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds really interesting and something right down what I'm looking for.
The two things that we can really control about investing are how much we put in and how much we pay. So that's where Robo Advisors really shine because their costs are super, super low. So in addition to everything that Sean said about doing all the heavy lifting for you, they're also pretty cheap.
That is so good to know. I'm so glad you guys are telling me this. These are great tips because this is exactly what I wanted.
We are super happy to help you because when I hear people get interested and talk about DIY investing, my ears perk a little bit because I worry that they're going to get super into crypto or really into AMC or something like this. And I just worry about what that could mean for their long-term financial health and investment goals.
It's so true, and I've been down that road years ago, and it's just so much easier when you can go on with life, but still, have a say so on your portfolio and the things and how you want to make money. So,
I'm sure you have enough to manage around your
yes,
household, plus your business. So
yes,
for me, I think of my investment in my Robo Advisor account as basically another line item on my budget that I have to manage monthly. And it's automated. I don't have to think about it, but I can go into my account, see the growth that's happening, and also get a little bit of an understanding of how the investments that I have chosen the algorithm to manage for me are playing out. So you can still learn about different investments, but it's less complicated. You don't have to research a specific company per se that you're investing in.
very nice.
So you also touched on investing and saving for retirement. How are you currently approaching that?
I currently have two retirement accounts, but I haven't been contributing as much as I want to and being stable. And, I actually forget a lot of times. And I really want to find a way that it's kind of like automatic.
Automation is the key for so many things in my philosophy of managing personal finance, because I don't want to have to think about things either. I want them to be set up and doing their own thing. So we can totally talk about doing that as well with your retirement accounts. And you mentioned that you have a couple. Are they 401ks? Are they Roth IRAs? Do you know what you're working with right now?
One was a retirement account for self-employed.
SEP IRA? Does that
Yes,
sound
yes,
right?
yes, that's
Yeah.
it. And then another one was one I had while I was working. Sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
so it's like
So
a 401k that's left over from a job?
It is from the other one. Yeah. And it's
Okay.
just still there. I haven't like transferred or anything. It's just still there.
I'm actually writing a column about that right now, that people think they have to do something with their 401k when they leave a job, and you don't. You can leave it right where
Oh,
it is. That's fine.
nice.
Yeah. And if you ever do work again for a company that has a 401k, often you can just transfer it straight into that new
Oh,
401k plan. So don't feel bad about leaving it behind. It's protected, it's fiduciary, and fiduciary means that the plan is required to put your interests first. So you don't have to worry about somebody selling you a bad investment or selling you an investment that makes them more than it makes you. So
mhm.
having the
wow.
401k is great. So
That is so good to hear. Like, I did not know that at all.
But one thing that I think is really great about how you're managing your retirement savings is that you do have multiple accounts. That's something I've become really fond of in the past year, where I have my 401k through NerdWallet, but I also have a Roth IRA that I've set up with a company online. And similar to how I do my Robo Advisor account, I have monthly contributions that will invest in that as well. So that way I have tax diversification in retirement. I don't have to think about how I am saving for retirement. It's just happening automatically.
you could definitely do that. If you know that you're going to be able to put in, say, $6,000 to a Roth IRA, that you can set up on automatic and make sure that just goes in every month. And then worry
Oh,
about the
great.
SEP when you get to the end of the year. Because you can have both. I
Okay.
think a lot of people think you can have one or the other, but with IRAs, you can have them both.
Is there anything else that you're thinking about in terms of how to set your son up for their financial future? Like, have you looked into starting a 529 account for college savings?
I actually have not. That's a good thing to start,
Hmm.
to think about because I do want him to be set up as well for the future. Can you talk about that more and explain that more?
Saving anything for your child, you actually
Yes.
increase the chances that they go to college. It's really amazing, even
Nice.
small
Well, we have
amounts.
started him a savings. We just have not done the account. He
Yeah.
got a.
Mhm.
It's crazy because the way we structured everything for him, his goal was not for gifts, baby showers, everything. But when he started, our mission was to have a savings for him.
Awesome.
So everybody in the family, grandmom, everybody just gives him money and it goes into his savings because, toys only go so far. He gets toys, yes, but like everybody contributes money financial wise because we do want his future set up. So
Oh,
he has a lot of money right now.
that is huge. What your family's doing is so great because, you're going to have enough plastic crap around the house. What you really need
Yes.
is money for the future. So,
Yeah.
what state do you live in?
I'm in Georgia.
Okay, I don't know much about Georgia's plan, but every state has a 529 college savings plan,
Okay.
and they're all a little bit different, but they all basically allow you to start contributing, like it could be $25 a month, $15 a month. It's fairly small. And then the money can build up and you can invest it. And most of the I think all of the 529s have an age-weighted option. So again, you don't have to think about it. You put the money in and it gets more conservative as college gets closer. And the great part is that you can also ask your family to contribute and they can put money directly
Wow.
in for your child. Another thing that's important to know is it doesn't really hurt your child's chances of getting financial aid if that's a concern down the road. It's treated as your asset. So it basically gets really good treatment in financial aid formulas. So it's a win-win. And a lot of states give you a tax break too for
Wow.
putting the money in.
Oh, nice.
You can use the money anywhere. You're not required to use it in the state of Georgia. You can use it wherever you want to go. So that's another
Oh, interesting.
positive. Yeah. Even some
Yeah, definitely
international
something.
schools will, you can use the money
Really?
for. Yeah. So it's sometimes you get a tax break going in. It's always tax deferred as the money is growing. And then when you pull it out, it's tax free if you use it for qualified education expenses.
Well, especially because your kid is still so young. You have a great time horizon, plenty of years to start saving and get a good lump sum built up for college.
So true.
I am so glad we got a chance to talk with you. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your financial dreams for 2022.
Same here. Thank you guys so much for all the helpful tips and advice. And I definitely appreciate you guys having me.
And with that, let's get on to our takeaway tips, and I can kick us off. First up, make your money easy. Automate contributions to investment accounts and consider a Robo Advisor account.
Next, know your retirement account options. Even if you have a 401k or a SEP IRA, think about opening a Roth IRA to diversify your tax situation.
And lastly, check out 529 plans for college savings. Your money grows tax deferred, and withdrawals are tax free when used for qualified education expenses.
And that's all we have for this episode. If you want your money questions answered on a future episode, turn to the nerds and call or text us your questions at 901-730-6373. That's 901-730-NERD. You can also email us at podcast@nerdwallet.com. Visit nerdwallet.com/podcast for more information on this episode. And remember to subscribe, rate, and review us wherever you're getting this podcast.
And here is our brief disclaimer, thoughtfully crafted by NerdWallet's legal team. Your questions are answered by knowledgeable and talented finance writers, but we are not financial or investment advisors. This nerdy info is provided for general educational and entertainment purposes and may not apply to your specific circumstances.
And with that said, until next time, turn to the nerds.